Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is a different video. I'm just going to show you guys how I use this affordable makeup I've been buying from AliExpress. If you didn't know, AliExpress is like a platform for Chinese vendors to sell, affordable stuff, affordable makeup, makeup tools, electronics, garments, clothing, whatever. I've had mixed reviews, and I've had mixed experiences with buying from AliExpress. So for me, so far, buying the inexpensive makeup tool and makeup has been okay. So I have the affordable brush set, so I'm just going to leave that link down below. Now I think for the amount I've paid, for the number of brushes you get here in this set, you get 14 brushes, 7 face brushes, 7 eye brushes. I think it's pretty good, really affordable. I'm all about affordable makeup because I know many of my viewers like that. So yes, yeah, these are the eye brushes. Now I didn't like one of the brush, and that's the angle brush here, because I don't know, I just find that this angle brush is a little too thick. Though I have used it for my eyebrows, I just felt like it wasn't really applying the product where I wanted to apply. It was kind of like spreading the eyebrow gel everywhere, so I didn't like that. And I also don't see myself using this to line my eyes because I like precision lining. So yeah, this is probably something that I didn't like. And then there was this brush here. This is like a fluffy, I don't know, blending brush maybe. I just felt like this was like so sparsely packed. It wasn't dense. I wish it was dense. Like this brush here, this is really dense. It was really nice to buff out and apply my concealer. It was good. This is like really nice. You could do your entire eye makeup look with these brushes, no problem at all. Now for the face brushes, I have this many here, and since I have kind of a large face, this powder brush was really good because it applied the powder really quick and easy. It picked up the product really well and it applied beautifully. And then as for my foundation brush, I think this is my favorite brush of them all, because this reminds me of the e.l.f. Dome brush, and I like to use the dome brush to apply my foundation, whether it is cream or liquid or powder. I really like using this because it kind of moves beautifully and it applies product very well. And yeah, this is my favorite of them all. And then here we have the bronzer brush to apply bronzer. I liked it too. Again, as I said, this brush is a little large, but I do have a large face, so it applies beauty. Now for the eyeshadow, so as you can see, this is the Beauty Glaze Rock and Metal eyeshadow palette. So I like this because it has all the warm colors. It's like a everyday go-to kind of a palette. There are many reviews here on YouTube. Many YouTubers have raved about this palette, and I like it. I like all the colors. It suits my brown skin tone. However, I must do mention that some of the colors, especially the shimmery ones, you can't just pick it up with a brush. It doesn't pick up the shadows well. You may want to wet or dampen your makeup brush, your eye brush, and then pick up the product and then apply it on. It just applies beautifully. It gives you that foiled effect. It really packs on. As you can see, just a tiny bit of shadow gave me a lot of pigmentation, so I really like it. Now the downside to this palette, maybe it could be just this palette, but I did read some reviews on the store. I mean, when I did my research, many did complain that some of the pans fall out. So I did have some shadows falling out, shadow pans falling out. I had to fix it with glue. So this is something you may want to keep in mind if you were to purchase this. The biggest fail for me in this whole purchasing experience with AliExpress was the magnetic lashes. It didn't work. So I have two types here. This one, I don't understand what I was thinking when I clicked the buy now button. So here the magnetic strip is right in the center of the lashes. So when I put it on, it was sticking out everywhere else when where there wasn't any, you know, magnetic strip on. So I mean, like, how do I use this? So this was a no-go. So as you can see, these lashes, these were strip lashes like this, and then they have attached two magnetic strips, small little strips on the ends of the lashes. So when I tried to apply it, it just didn't work. It was like snapping at the wrong places, and then it was bulging in the center where there was no magnetic strip on. It was extremely uncomfortable on the eyes. So I tried cutting it into half and just putting it on the sides. It still didn't work. So for me, this was a no-go. This was a no-go. So I think I just better stick with traditional false lashes and glue and then applying it on. So first up, it's going to be makeup brushes. So here I have some makeup brushes. I really like the color of it. It has this ombre effect to it. It has no color, and then we have this like ferrule. Well, some of it looks like it's plastic and some of it looks like it's metal, and these are synthetic bristle brushes. I mean, the total set comes with 14 brushes, 7 face brushes and 7 eye brushes. So I'm going to show you how I use them. Let's see if I use them all. So yeah, let's get started. I start with applying my primer, and for that I am going to be using this dome shaped brush. I like dome shaped brush because I feel like, you know, it really helps smooth out the product onto my face. So here I have Makeup Forever All Matte Primer. I like using this only on the areas that get a bit oily. So I'm just going to be applying this only on the areas where I get oily, and that's my T-zone, around my nose, my forehead and my chin area here. My skin has been acting up lately. I think it's the skincare product from The Ordinary. I think some of the products are breaking me out, so I need to figure out. Next, I'm going to go in with my MAC Prep and Prime Radiance Primer. So just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand, and using the brush to apply this all over the face. Next up, I'm going to be using the ColourPop No Filter Stick Foundation. I have like a love-hate relationship with this, but I'm just going to use this for this video because it's quite easy to apply. Yeah, a little bit in the nose. This is a little bit darker. I'm just going to apply this on the areas where I have hyperpigmentation. Okay, not too much, just a tiny bit. I'm gonna blend everything up. Okay, so I can see that the brush is shedding. I have hair here. When I was washing the brushes, I did notice some of the brushes did shed. So that's something that you may want to take note. Next, I'm going to go and do a bit of color correcting, especially under the eyes, before I apply the concealer. Now I'm using the MAC, Duo Color Corrector. Just going to apply a little bit over here and a tiny bit here. So not going for anything dramatic. It's just like an everyday glam look. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm just going to use this brush. It's quite fluffy, it's quite large, for being an eye brush. It's a tiny bit angled. It's not a perfect angle, but you can see that it's a bit angled. So I'm just going to use that and I'm going to buff it out. It's blending out beautifully. I like it. It doesn't leave any streaks, so I think it's quite. Next, I'm going to go in with my NARS Creamy Concealer, and this is the caramel shade. I really like it. It's so nice on the under eye area. though it does crease sometimes if I don't set it properly. So just gonna apply this a tiny bit here and a tiny bit here. Again, going in with the same brush, but I'm just going to clean it off because I have too much of that orange character on it. So I'm going to blend. Personally, I prefer using a sponge, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to try all the brushes that I have here, so you can see if it works or not. If you notice, I'm actually doing dabbing motions. I'm not pulling, or I feel like whenever you do that with any kind of brushes, you are sweeping away the product. Now I'm going to set my under eye area with my Ben Nye powder. I'm just going to use a powder puff for it because I've tried using brushes and it never sets properly, so that's what I'm going to do now. So I am going to take a bit on my powder puff, work it in like this, and then I'm just going to set my under eye area. I'm going to go and take my face brush. So this is like a humongous brush, densely packed, huge brush. I'm going to go in with the setting powder again, my Ben Nye and Beige Sweet powder, and I'm just going to set the foundation. I'm going to fill in my eyebrows, and for that I'm going to be using the angle brush. So this is a tiny bit thicker than my usual eyebrows. I like to keep it simple, just use a gel liner, and my go-to brush is actually a art brush, and this is like the Della Ronnie angle shader brush. This is like a pink brush, so that's what I use for my eyebrows. But I'm going to try out this one. This one looks also angle, but it's a bit more thicker than the other brush, so let's see if it fares. So I'm going to be using my MAC fluid line in Dip Down. It applies quite nicely, but I can't get that precise line or tail. Next I'm going to go in with my eye primer, and this is the Prolong Wear Laying Low primer. I'm going to use this brush. I don't know what kind of brush this is, but it looks like a brush I could use for my eyes. So just going to take a bit of it, and then I'm going to apply this all over my lid. I'm going to be using this palette. This is also from AliExpress. This is called Beauty Glazed Rock Metal Palette. Quite a popular palette on YouTube. You can Google, you can type in Beauty Glaze, and you can see that many YouTubers have used them. So I'm going to try it out. So as you can see, the colors are kind of pretty. You have a lot of warm shades going on, neutral. You can go with like everyday look. You also have some shimmery shades, and then you have a matte black here. I did some swatches on my hand. I've also used this palette on my eyes, very limited colors. So I'm going to try some of the colors here on my eyes live to show you if it works or not. So yeah, the only problem with this palette is that some of the pans are coming off. So the glue is like loose, so I had to glue them back. So this is something you may want to keep in mind. So I'm going to be using this shade here, and this is called Camel. So the brush I'm using is a dome shaped brush. I'm going to use this on my crease. I really like the way it applies the color. It's so effortless. I just have to like whoosh, 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 and then the color is applied. So that's nice. Next I'm going to go in with this darker shade here, brown shade, and this is called Putty. I'm going to apply this just on this outer corner of my eye. It does apply the shade beautifully though, and I must say that this palette, the shadows are really pigmented, so go with a light hand and dust off before you put the product on. Now I'm going to be applying this shade here. It's called Khaki. And the brush I'm using is an angled brush, so you can see. Just gonna use this to apply the shadow on my eyebrow bone area and just blending things out. Okay, I'm gonna go in back with this shade here, which is called Camel. I'm going to put this over because I felt like I have lost that color. Next, I'm going to be using Auburn, this gold looking shimmery shade, and I'm going to be using this brush here. So this is like a flat eyeshadow brush. I think it's not picking up the color, so I'm just going to I am going to wet this brush with my Studio Fix. Wow, it looks really foiled and pretty. I like it. And now I'm going to be going in with this shade. It's called Cashmere, using the smaller eye brush, and I'm going to put this on the inner corner. There aren't that many, smaller brushes in this kit, so I'm going to go in back with the angle brush, and I'm going to apply the darker shade here, darker brown, and I'm going to apply this on my lower lashes. Next, I'm just going to go in with a kohl pencil and line my eyes. So I'm going to be lining my eyes with the matte liquid liner from NYX. Now it's time to put on the lashes. So it comes with two lash strips. So I believe one is for the top and then the other one is for the bottom. So that's how it sticks the lashes together. So let's try. So I'm going to put the top one first. I'm going to use the tweezer to place the lashes. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the bottom. So this is where I feel like I'm creeping out a bit because I don't know if it's going to work, because the last few times when I tried it on, it was a complete fail. Oh dear, it's sticking to my tweezers. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna put this one on the bottom like this. Oop. Okay, looks like this. Okay, you know what? It's not working out. I'm just going to do the good old way of using a glue and my lashes. I'll be right back. So I've already put on my lashes the regular way using glue. Now I'm just going to go in with the palette. I'm going to use this matte black color using the same angle brush and just smoking out the liner. Next, I'm going to be contouring my face, and here I'm using ColourPop Rodeo Drive. So this is a face brush. So as you can see, it's like a dome-shaped brush. I'm going to use this to put on a little bit of bronzer, contour at the same time. So you can't really do much, precise contouring with this brush because it's so big and fluffy, but it does a good job of if you want to apply a bronzer. So next, I am going to be taking this brush here. This is also quite large actually, but I'm going to try doing a soft contour of my nose. So I'm going to pick up the bronzer color. I'm going to use my fingers to do this. I'm going to apply the color. I'm Going in with my foundation brush, just going to dab, 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 and fix that harsh line. Next for blush, I'm going to be using the MAC Foolish Me blush. As you can tell, it's my favorite blush. I'm going to go in with this blush angle brush. So I'm going to take some of it. So next I'm going to be using highlighter from MAC, and this is My Mini. This is the limited edition Mariah Carey one. This is the extra dimension skin finish. I'm going to be using this brush. I think this would apply the highlighter quite well. Oh wait, I think I'm going to use the fan brush. So here, I'm going to pick up some of that on the brush and then go ooh. You know, I'm not a huge fan of using fan brush, so I'm just going to go in with this dome shape brush again, and I'm going to try to apply it, because this way I feel like I can apply the product a bit more, you know, in a precise manner. Bit of a control freak sometimes. So for my lips, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Key Lip Liner. As for my lipstick, I'm going to go in with this color, and this is from ColourPop. It's called Money Side Up. Yeah, so this is pretty much my experience buying from AliExpress. I'm all about affordable makeup. I really enjoy using things that are not very expensive, because I know many of my viewers are not professional makeup artists and people who do not have so much money to buy, you know, makeup brush sets that cost like $100. Of course, if you're going to be doing professional makeup artistry, it is good to invest in good makeup tools. But if you're just going to be using it for yourself for fun, then I would strongly recommend these affordable brushes. I will leave the link of the vendor, the AliExpress vendor, down in the description box so that you can go and buy. I have no affiliation whatsoever with the stores, so you are free to do whatever you want. Okay guys, I hope you found this video useful. So I'll see you in my next one. Bye.